Hello, hello everyone. How are you all doing? Are you ready for the next session? We have this amazing Josephine who's gonna share how to turn your setback into a comeback. I'm super excited for your session, Josephine. So yeah, Josephine is here from England, isn't it? Josephine, you are in England.
Yes, I am.
Yes. Okay. So, guys, are you ready? Ready with your notes? Take your note and engage in the comments and all of that good stuff. So, I'm just gonna give the floor to Josephine.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here. My goodness me, has it not been an incredible week? Hasn't it? I'm just mind blown. I'm full of knowledge, wisdom, inspiration, motivation from every single person that has been here. So, I hope you're all well. I promise not to overload you with a lot of stuff. I'm going to tone it down so that I know my audience, the audience here, you want to know, how do you turn yourself back into a comeback? How do you do that? I will be sharing with you my very go to 4 tips on how to do that. Before diving into all that, I'm going to share with you my story and how I came to that point. So, if you are new and you have never met me, we have never spoken. My name is Josephine Kalagira. I'm the setback to comeback queen. I'm an author and recently received an honorary award for women empowerment. And why is that? So, before turning into the setback to comeback queen in 2017, before 2017, I used to be called Sunshine. And I used to work in a role as an HR within human resources. After just finished uni, and I was 2 months into my role. And what happened was in April 2017, I had a personal injury. And that personal injury, I thought I was strong. I thought I was going to, it was just something that I would just get on with. It was something that has happened and I'll be strong and pull through. But little did I know that it was going to transform my life. I am live and I don't know. Someone is asking whether I'm live. Can you? Oh, goodness me, I don't know. Can someone hear me? I don't know if I'm just speaking to myself. I am live. Yes. I just want to know. I don't know how to tell whether someone is. Uh, okay. If you can see me, I don't know. Someone said that they didn't know that they couldn't see me. So basically my life turned around in 2017 after I had a personal injury. It limited my capability to do the things that I used to do. For example, the day-to-day things like cleaning, like walking, like working, like looking after my then 5-year-old son. And what that did was for me to cover myself up. I thought I was going to be strong, but of course, I was in so much pain. I was in so much agony. I stopped myself from being that sunshine that I was known as. So, in that moment, my symptoms of depression started. I was anxious. I lost my role, my job in that moment. I did not ask for help when I needed to seek help because I was scared, because I didn't know that person that I was turning into. And I spent like maybe a year before I sought help. And what that meant was my son at the age of 5 became a young carer, and we were just trying to juggle life. I started to walk on my elbows. I couldn't come out of bed. I was really depressed as someone who had just finished uni, who had lots of ambitions, lots of goals. Something along the way came in, and I was shattered. I was depressed. And now I look back and say, you know what? I was depressed, and it's very, very hard for all of us to know how to turn that thing around. Something that is happening all of a sudden, like when you have a vision board, when someone is telling you to be positive, when someone tells you that you really need to pull up your socks, but you can't because you're struggling. So doctors did what they could, but because I was so much in pain, because I lost friends, because I was misdiagnosed, because the medication did something to me, I put on a lot of weight, my mobility was not getting any better. I thought the world was coming apart. And in that moment, I remember hearing lots of voices saying, you know what, you are better off dead than being alive. You are better off being alive, dead than being alive. And in the moment, I didn't know what I needed to do, but I knew I had to take a lot of medication. Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Please do ask your questions, and then I'll come back and answer those for you. I'm just going into my story at the moment, and before sharing all my tips. Hi Amy, thank you for being here. I really do appreciate you. So in the moment, I deprived myself from the person I was, from sunshine to darkness to shadow. I did not see any light at the end of the tunnel. I was in so much pain. As a single parent who now was starting to struggle financially because my job. Hey, Paula, thank you so much for being here. Hey, Luchme, thank you so much for being here. So, in that moment, I deprived myself. I lost a lot of friends because where I used to work was quite a distance, and I detached myself. I felt guilty for putting my son through what he was going through. I didn't know he was being a young carer at that moment, until when one day I woke up broken. I could not come out of bed, and I called the school to help me because I didn't know how my son would be going to school. And when I called, they came to my attention, and they advised that I needed to reach out to my doctor. When I reached out to the doctor, they told me that, Josephine, you are not coping. You cannot look after your son, and we are going to call emergency social services because your son needs to be where he'll be very well looked after. In that moment, for me, I froze. I cried my eyes out. I said, I've done what I've been asked to do. I am physically and emotionally struggling. Although I had a record that, my thoughts, I was suicidal, um, I did not want that to be used against me because I was struggling. And in that moment, I was like, you know what? No, I deserve to be with my son. I needed to be with my son. No one is going to take away my son. And I had to pull my socks up to know, how am I going to cope? How am I going to do this? How can I stay with my son? So in that moment, I started to pick myself up. But the lessons I learned along the way are, not everyone, not everyone will help you on this journey. Even the people that you think will help you, they might not help you. You start to hear a lot of words, a lot of things being said around. And when you're in pain, the people you thought were your friends might all run away, might all vanish. People might want you for money. Because when you cannot clearly articulate what you're going through, especially if something is invisible, if you've got a disability, if you've got emotional distress because of the biological things that are happening in your life. Some people are having broken homes. Some people have got past experiences. Some people, are trying to conceive. Some people had injuries and they've not received the fair treatment of how they wanted and how they wished. So, me in that moment, I was like, you know what? Now this is me. The people I thought would help me did not help me. I remember there was a moment when someone were going for the wedding, and they told me, Josephine, if you're using your crutches or you're on a wheelchair, we're so sorry, we don't want you on our wedding. Because, and I said, what? I beg your pardon? They said, we don't need you on the wedding. I said, why? They said, because you're going to ruin our pictures. And only now that I started to do my personal development and personal growth, I know what they meant. People have different opinions, and if you're doing your roadmap, you're doing something that you want to achieve, you do it your own way. And they did what they did. It was so unfair, it was very bitter, but in the moment they did what they wanted, and I took it personal. I was bitter. I said, I'll never forgive anyone that has treated me badly. I already had my experience of becoming disabled, and I could not walk. So the lessons were understanding that we need to accept our situations. We need to embrace what we have been through. We need to be our authentic self in order to articulate the challenges, the struggles, the pain, the frustration that we are going through. No one knows what we're going through other than ourselves. Hi, Rahul. Thank you so much for being here. No one knows what you're going through. No one will tell. People have opinions. People will tell you what they want you to hear. And if you're not solid, if you're not stable, it will rip you apart. You will find yourself that you don't know where you're going. You don't have a clue. You are confused. You don't concentrate. I remember thinking I was in a corporate role. How come that my brain, I had a short-term memory, and sometimes I could forget. I was restless. I could not sleep. I put on a lot of weight. But you know what? I was bitter. And I did not truly understand. I thought I relied on other people to help me. But you need to help yourself because you know what you're going through. I hold a pain all the time, and I say that you know what, it's my life. I know what I've been through, I know what I'm going through, and I know where I want to go. And when I was in so much pain, when I saw that my son deserves to have a mom, I did not want my son to be a child parent to me. Despite my pain, my difficulties, I knew I needed help. I knew I had to reach out. I knew what I was going through, what I was struggling with, what I had lost cannot define the person I am if I don't allow it. And we go through challenges and struggles to identify our true inner power. Because if you don't go through challenges in life, you won't know your power. You won't know your potential. You will think everything is just God planted. You think things are coming to you. So I had to take a leap of faith and say, you know what? Who is Josephine? What can I do to get better? What do I need to do? Who do I need to reach out? What if I'm judged? What if I'm not heard? What if there is no safe space? Of course, you have to understand that there is so many, you have to fall as many times as you fall. But remember this, you will have to get up at one point because your setback is a setup for your comeback. And until when you're proud of who you are, you can't quit. I had a young boy that I brought into this world, and never did I put something on a vision board that this is going to happen, that I'm going to have an accident. We cannot control what we are going through or what is going to happen to us. Something can happen along the way. You plan something else and something else happens. But how do you manage that? How do you control it? Because you might not have had an accident. You might not even you have your own challenges and struggles that you're going through. But no other people do not know what you are going through. It's your job, it's your responsibility, it's your duty of care to show them, to hold the pen. How do you want to help be helped? How do you want to be supported? For me, when I thought, you know what, enough is enough. What did I need in that moment? I knew I could not walk. I knew I could not take my son to school. I knew I cannot rely on myself. I could not do things independently as I used to do. So I reached out for help. I started to speak to different people. I connected with the people that literally wanted to hear what I was going through and how they could help me. And when I did that, hello, hello. So many people just coming on. I think they is Facebook user. Hey Frank, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate you. So, whatever you're going through right now, you need to know where you are. You need to accept it. You need to embrace it. In order for you to have a different perspective, to be grateful, to be able to focus, to be able to turn that setback into a comeback, you need to literally be in the present. What are you going through? Where do you want to be? What transformation do you want? How do you want to wake up feeling like? I knew I'd not want to not be able to take my son to school because he was now being taken by someone else who wasn't me. I was missing out on that quality time. He wasn't happy. He needed emotional support. I knew I need, in order to do the things I wanted to do, I was, I used, I needed a wheelchair because I could not walk. I knew I had to connect with the right people like we are here. We are all on a similar journey. We have different journeys, but we are on a similar journey. When I thought that when I survived death the last time, I remember being resuscitated and they told me that they gave me a last shot to try and resuscitate me. And they said, when I woke up, I smiled. And they wondered what was going on for someone who was nearly dead to now smiling, just get up smiling. Well, my ribs were broken, my chest, my everything. Even up to this point, I still feel that pain. But when I got back up and they told me what had happened, after I'd overdosed myself to say that I don't want to live anymore. I don't want to go through this moment. I don't want to be treated the way I was treated. I didn't want the pain. I didn't want to see my son going through all of that. This is not what I had anticipated. Well, I struggle physically and emotionally on a daily basis because the right hand of my side is not functioning as it should. And this is what happens when I was struggling because I wanted to be diagnosed. I needed to know what was wrong until when I was told you've got complex pain regional syndrome, you've got neurological dysfunctional disorder. This is what limited the things that I used to do, given the fact that some people thought I was going out of my mind. But I wasn't. So with the dystonia, with all the pain, with everything that was going on, with all the panic attacks, with all my humor being taken away by a circumstance that happened to me, I wasn't able to let go. But I was forced to have a go, to let go, because of what the four things, the four top things that you literally need right now, even today, to do so you can turn your setback into a comeback. So I learned that in order to get back up on your feet stronger than ever before, you need to take ownership. And number one of the things, in order to take ownership, you need to know how do I take ownership? Where do I even start? Number one, what is your story? What is your story? You have just heard about my story, and that's just in a nutshell. But what is your story? Are you a single parent? Were you abused when you were a child? Are you trying to conceive? Are you having challenges with your kids? Are your kids having learning difficulties? Are you having a disability? Do you blame other people for the things that have gone on and they haven't treated you fairly? What is your story? What is your experience? How did it treat you? How did you feel when you were in the moment? You need to know. How did it impact you? You need to know what has impacted your life in order you've decided to come to this conference or summit. What intrigued you to come? Do you want to be a coach? Are you trying to transform your life in a way that you want to get back up? Well, for me, before I started to get into this, I was like, you know what? I have been through so much that I don't wish anyone else to go through what I have gone through. I don't wish anyone, because most times the things that we are going through and are very painful are the things we don't share. We share all the things that we want other people to know, to understand, to remember us. But you need to be authentic. You need to be your true self. What is your story? Have you heard? Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate you. What is your story? Absolutely. No one knows what you are going through, and we don't need judgment from others. And when we're going through what we are going through, absolutely. You need to know. In order to move on, you need to know what you're going through right now. And what you're going through is what I call a setback. A setback is your story. Are you struggling financially? Did you lose your job? Can you not do the things that you want to do? What is your story? Your story is that thing that has impacted your life the most. Once you know that, once you know how it impacted you, if you know that your story motivates and inspires, thank you so very much, Rashmi. I really do appreciate you. Your story is your fuel. In anything that you want to achieve, in anything that you want to do, you might go and do all the things or do invest in yourself in any kind of form. But if you invest but you're not attached to your story, know the story, the reason behind why you want to do what you're doing, then you will get frustrated if you're not attached, if you're not connected, if you're not aligned. You will be detached. You might find I invested 10,000, I invested 5,000. It is not working. Number one, why something might not be working is you're not connected to your story. The story you're sharing, telling other people, is not the actual story. Number two, you're not doing the work that you're meant to be doing. You're not turning up as you should. You're not consistent. You're not determined. It's not your soul, divine, heart-centered calling. But it all starts with your story. Familiarize yourself with a story. And even when you're not true to yourself, sometimes you're thinking, Josephine, when I help my clients to go through all the deep work, they're like, Josephine, I have had this happen to me, and I've had this, and I've had that, and I've had this. How do I know what to share, what to tell, what story can I use? that story that impacted you the most is the one you use. And even if it's not that, you need to get started. And once you start getting the feedback from people, once you start to see the changes in your life, then you will know what spikes you up, what lights you, what sets your heart on fire. And you have to like pause. If something is not working, you have to pause, relax, relate to that moment, and release what is not needed in your body, in your system, in your words. Neurologically, what we tell ourselves, I've had so many people say, what you're telling yourself will manifest in your behavior and your habits. For me, even though I was struggling, even though I didn't know how I wanted to do something, even though I was unsure, I was sad, I would share myself, my true authentic. And many people know me now as the Setback to Comeback Queen. I would never have been nominated as with an honorary award for women empowerment. I've never been in the press everywhere, internationally, locally, nationally. I've never been able to do that. And this year, my son dressed up as I was his hero on World International Book Day. And for me, it changed my life. It has changed my life. And I want your story to change your life too. In what you want to do, anything that you want to do, it's your story. What you tell other people and what you tell yourself. That's number one. And how you choose it, you keep sharing and you see what people resonate with, what lights you up, and then that's what you go with. If you were there, if you learned lessons, if you are at this other side, even if when you're not where you want to be, you want to share that story. So you show other people how you have done it and how it's impacted you. Your thoughts, your words, your actions, and your feedback needs to be aligned. Others have never been as the setback to comeback queen. If I sat down and did not share my story, you will never have connected here. So that's number one, your story. Your story can be used as a setup to come back. It's the number one thing. Number two, your brand. Your brand. How do you identify your brand? Again, it goes back to your story. Your brand. I know some people go and take wonderful pictures. Some people go and do beautiful websites. Some people go and hire experts to do copy for them. And once you actually get to know them, it's not aligned. Your brand is you. How you show up, how you express yourself. For example, me, my brand is something like I am a Christian. I am the setback to comeback queen. I've learned on the job on what I'm doing. I am improving every single day. I'm sharing my ups, my downs, my good, my everything authentically. That even on a bad day, I don't feel like, oh, I've been showing up as this. I've got everything together. Today, I'm not going to show up as that. Because I'm the setback to comeback queen, I embrace all that I've been through, all that I still struggle with or struggled with. I embrace all of it. I've allowed and I've trusted and I've improved. I improve on a daily basis. And this is what you need to do as well. Your brand is yourself. How you want to be seen, how you want to be known, that's your unique selling point. That's your unique brand. There is no setback to comeback queen. There might be people that are doing what I'm doing, but they're not known as the setback to comeback queens. You might be a queen as well. in your niche. You take ownership of what you want people to know you as, of how you want. If people have known you as someone who is giving full of excuses, who isn't trying their hardest, who is full of failures, you try this and try that and you give up. You try this and give up. You try that and give up. If you truly believe in what you want to achieve, either in coaching, either in transforming your life fast before you figure out what you want, and take those steps one by one, step by step, you are taking ownership. You are taking ownership and you're owning yourself. No one has a pen to write your story other than you. Well, there will be other people who will criticize you, who will write positive feedback about you, who will not comment, and your brand is unique to you because many people may not understand it. It's your job, it's your duty, it's your responsibility for people to resonate with you. Don't rely on other people to approve things to you. Because when you're fast asleep, or when you don't sleep, when you're in pain, when you can't get up, when you all of a sudden start crying, no one is there. Sometimes we wipe our tears and then we show up. But why don't you show that? Because if you're not truly authentic with yourself, you start to hide some bits, and then other bits, and then other bits. But all of it has to be seen. People need to know your flaws. Of course, not all of it. There's certain things. You need to know your audience in order to share what you want to share. So, I wanted to be known as someone who has not given up, who is thriving and shining through my setbacks. This is how I found my purpose to get back up and say, you know what really lights me up? What is my brand? My brand is that. And I'm known by, you wear certain colors. Have you ever found yourself wearing some colors and you're like, I don't want that color because it puts me down, because I don't want it, because, it puts me in a funny mood. But you wear other colors and they lights you up. That's your brand. Like, for example, red for me, a lipstick for me, makeup for me, yellow, sunshine. I remember a time when my sunshine went. Even if someone told me you're sunshine, I would cry because I saw my sunshine being dimmed away. And I took ownership. I wanted to have my life back in my hands. And you know what? When I owned that, I was able to write my first book called My Revolutionary Breakthrough: How to Turn Your Setback into a Purposeful Comeback. Many people read it and they're like so emotional. That is how I was. And you know why I wrote it? I wrote it because it was never meant to be a book. I wrote it because I was leaving it behind. I was planning to end my own life. And just all of a sudden, I was scrolling through Facebook. I saw someone who talked about, have you ever thought about writing your first book? And then I started following them. And then I was guided to connect with them. I connected with them and they helped to publish my own book. And when I published the book, my life changed as well. So you don't know where life will take you. You don't know what is going to be your aha moment. You just have to keep going. You just have to start and keep going. Take ownership of what you believe in. If you believe in something so much, if you believe in what you want to do or what you're doing, you have to prove that that is what you want. And what you want is your brand. Anything else, all the colors, all the fancy things, logos and everything comes into play when you know what you're talking about. Many people will just see you and resonate with you and will want to work with you, will want to know how you have done what you're doing, even without having the fancy color, the fancy copy. They will hear you speak, they will resonate with you. I remember one lady who's been following me for 2 years. When I opened doors to my 6 week program, she just said, Josephine, can you please send me that link? I said, what link? She said, for your setback to come back program. I said, oh. And then when I started the program, 2 weeks in, I scheduled in a call with them. And they said, because of your brand, because of how you've been consistent and shown up, you're literally the setback to come back queen. I have followed you for 2 years. I've been following you for 2 years. I've not been commenting, but because of who you are and who you've been showing up as, I just want to join you on this journey. And it was fantastic. I own my brand, and so can you. So, number one is knowing your story. What is your story and how to pick it? Number two, identifying your brand. I am a spiritual person, a Christian, a setback to come back queen, a mother who has not given up no matter what life has brought her. Anyone that I work with does not have to be spiritual, does not have to be a Christian. They just need to know that I am. And that is what we all want. So, number three, you have to know your why. Why do you want to change your life? Why do you want to turn your setback into a comeback? Why are you here? Why? So for me, I had a son who had gone through so much to the point that he saw me die, or at least a threat to die, and he had to call uh, an ambulance. He thought I was dead. My brain had gone. I couldn't even remember a thing. And I thought, you know what? My son deserves a mother that functions properly, a mother that is there to support him, a mother that brought him into the world to be proud of. On the other side, I had to work on myself to make sure that I was in a good place to support him, to help him, to rebuild what was unbuilt. When I started to see his smile, my connection between my son was broken. And when I saw things change, I was like, you know what? What is my why? Why do I need to get back up on my feet? Why? Because I need my son to have a fully functional mom. With despite what I was going through, he was meant to see a mom who has not given up. And he tells me that every single day. He dressed up as me. He said, Mom, I am a boy. But today, all the other past years, I've been dressing up as other people. And today, I am dressing up as you. Because you're my superhero on an International World Book Day. Because I did the work. I knew why I needed to change. I knew why I did not want to understand that what I was going through could not define me or my capability or my potential if I did not allow it. So I did that. When I was in a good place, now I remembered the people that were going through a similar situation, who were voiceless, who were hopeless, who had been judged, who thought, you know what? I wish I could hear someone who speaks to me. And when I help people, when I support people on this journey, people say, okay, thank you. Oh, someone was on the door. Sorry, ladies. So what happened was for me to help other people who are feeling hopeless, who have been written off, who have not been heard, who are not being supported, who are being, who are being told that, you know what, you're not good for nothing. No one will ever understand you because you are, you don't understand what you're doing or what you're talking about. Because when you're ill, you have to understand that sometimes you may not even know what you're doing or talking about. Things might not connect. Your coping skills, your cognitive function will feel like all over the place. That's what you want to know. Why? It was my son that I knew whatever it took me, whatever it cost me, I had to invest in myself. Financially, time wise, attention wise, not giving up. So that people can see, you know what, if Josephine can do it, so can I. On my bad days, I had to think, I need to be better. I went to the university to have a better, brighter future. And because, am I going to live like this? Are you going to live like that for the rest of your life? Do you want to feel stuck? Do you want to be demotivated? Do you want to feel like comparing yourself to other people? No, you want to be yourself. You want to be your true, authentic self so that when you get up every single day, you are feeling like, you know what, I'm doing a good cause. This is what I'm doing. I love it. It may be hard. You might have to figure out where you want to go, what you want to do, but you will get there. Why? Because you have a bigger why. I don't want people to struggle as I did. I don't want people to feel like there is no safe space where they can be heard, where they can be supported, where they can do whatever they want to do. I swore that I don't want that to happen. And I swore that I want parents, especially but parents who are single parents, no one knows what they're going through. And I know sometimes there is that tendency of people saying, you need to get a partner. Your why should not be getting someone for a reason, for companion, to be in that comfort zone that, you know what, I need a partner. Why? Because I'm in this situation and I want them to help me. No. You would want to have a partner or someone to help you for the good reasons. When you go into that place, it's like you're hiding a certain bit of you. And once people truly understand who you are, you might collapse, you might give up because that's not who you want to be. So, know your why. Your why will help ignite your passion to keep going no matter what life throws at you. You won't give up because every time you want to give up, you're like, I want a better future. I want freedom. I want to help people. Yeah. I had like I'm a girl child in need ambassador. And for me, every time, even when I was going through all the difficult times, I was like, you know what? There is someone else there who has not got food. There is someone else there who hasn't got the hand. I was like, I can't use my left hand. I used to give these excuses. Oh, I've become disabled. I'm too fat. My right hand side is not working properly. Who is gonna hear me out? I need to learn to use my left hand side. Who is going to hear me out? But they were all excuses because if you do not have a strong enough why, you will procrastinate. The imposter syndrome will be in. You will have low self-esteem. You will know your confidence will be low. You won't even know your worth. You won't be able to identify your purpose in life. But once you flip it round and you know your why you do what you do or why you want to do what you do, no matter what life throws at you, you will be able to thrive and shine, to turn it into a comeback. That's number 3. Number 4, you set your desired goals. and achieve them? How do you set your desired goals and achieve them? Honestly, on social media, so much is happening, so much is going on. Things are happening, and you will be overwhelmed. Someone is posting every single day. Someone is like, before you actually blink, someone is doing this. I've achieved this. I've done this. I've hit all my goals. I've earned this. I've done this. And you're thinking in your head, you are physically and mentally struggling. You want to get there, but you don't know how to get there. You really don't know how to get there. So I am someone who embraces physical pain, disability, and mental health. I embrace that. But you know that you cannot compare yourself to other people who are not experiencing what you've gone through. And other people show up not as them, but they know how to manage that. How about you who is been traumatized and you don't know how you're gonna how if you're gonna even wake up the following day? You're having these negative thoughts. You are so beautiful and strong, Josephine. You are an inspiration. Thanks, Amy. I really do appreciate you. How do you an inspiration? Thank you. How do you set those goals and achieve them? You have to not compare yourself to anyone else, because you know when your most bad days, you know your good days, you know the 50-50 days, you know that. And when you know that, you plan. And that plan may be that most people can't get up in the morning. How can you set a 10-year plan or a 5-year plan or a 1-year plan if you don't know if you don't know what you want, if you're still struggling? You can later on, when you have mastered, when you are in the right mindset, when you have worked your way out and is tailored to you, you need to do self-care on yourself first. Self-care is the most important thing in the whole wide world. And self-care is important to you. I used to hear people tell me, get up and do this, at least do the stretches, at least do this 5 times, 2 times, do this. But physically, I could not do it. This is how you need to tailor everything you do in your own life and take step by step, one step at a time. As long as you're not giving up, as long as you're not quitting, that will be the number one thing for success. That would be success. Getting up. I remember I thought, if I could get up today, if I could get off this bed, if I could brush my teeth, if I could make a cup of tea, rather than you thinking of a 10-year plan, there is something that is most immediate. Waking up, washing your face, brushing your teeth, planning how, maybe you need to plan from morning to afternoon. From afternoon, and then you go step by step. How was that gone? How did you feel? Do an analysis, review, reflect, take action step by step. Don't be blown away. If you're looking after yourself and you know what you're going through, take it one step at a time, but don't quit. Do not quit. I need to take care of myself first. Was selfish and was the biggest myth busted. Yes, the thing is, you know what you're going through. We all want to get 6-7 figure earning, but what is the importance of being there and ripped apart? I've been working with someone who is like 6 figure earner, but they cried their eyes out because they set their bar so high that they weren't keeping up. But when you're in the mindset of being seven-figure earner, six-figure earner, you want to be aligned with those people. But when your body, mind, and soul and health are not speaking to that, you're going to be burnt out. You're going to be stressed. You're going to feel like, your heart is racing. You're chasing foxes. And you don't want to do that. One step at a time. I had to work with this lady and we drew a plan. We find out the root cause of why she was feeling like that. And she was comparing herself to all this other seven-figure earner. It's not bad when you're in the good mindset, you're doing it for the right reasons. But when when you have constant pain, and you've tried to do whatever it takes, you've taken all the medication that is taking you left, right, and center, and you're not seeing any results. If you don't know your story, if you don't know where you want to go, how you want to be seen as other people, if you're not setting yourself, if you might set yourself to fail, and you don't want to fail. When you're trying your hardest to find a diagnosis of what's wrong with you, when you've invested, gone upside down, someone is telling you this, another one is telling you this, and you feel a certain different way, when it comes to setting your goals, you're not going, even though you want to earn 6-7 figure earning, you will be demotivated. You feel like things are not happening because you're having conflicts with yourself. I used to think I'll never use a wheelchair. I don't want a wheelchair. But until when I accepted and I was like, you know what, maybe a wheelchair will help. My goodness me, it helped. It supports me to do the things I want to do. At the beginning of this month, I started to take my son to school and pick him up. It could be as simple as that. For over 3 years, I wasn't able to pick and take my son to school independently. I had to work out. I had to do a plan, set myself goals. I want to help other people, but when you have to help yourself first, what resonates? When I saw a smile on my face, I was like, I need my son to be in a good place. That was a goal. How am I going to make that happen? I need to be able to drive again because my driver's license was taken away due to my health complexions. And I had to make sure that I get my driver's license back. I knew I wanted to take my son to school because I used to panic out, used to pass out. But what was causing all of that? When you're not in alignment, you might be ill, but there are some contributing factors that bring you to that. When you're setting yourself goals, you need to know if you can't do it yourself, you reach out for help. You connect with the right people. What are your time priorities? Are you setting yourself too high that is going to burn you out? Or you want someone is actually sending a message. Thank you. So you want to know that what is your time. Like for example, some people you might be thinking, you know what, Josephine, I'm so ill, I'm so in pain, I can't do this, I can't do that. But when the house is and someone will say, oh, they're busy, they haven't got time, you haven't got time to do this. But when the house is on fire, you will run and save someone or save yourself. This is the same thing. When you set yourself, don't save yourself a bar too high. If you're not there yet, if you feel that you can't cope, try take one step at a time. Make them achievable, make them specific, make them tailored to you. Yeah? You need to be in that growth mindset, development mindset. Be willing to be disciplined, to have that discipline and that development, willingness to learn. When you're not good at timekeeping, know that timekeeping is not just something that you're going to say, I'm going to do this. It's a skill. It won't happen overnight. You need to set yourself those small goals, tick them off, evaluate what worked, what went well, what didn't go so well, why did it not go well, what are you going to do so that it goes well for you? Who are you going to reach out to? Who are you going to contact? Yeah. So if it means reaching out to the doctor, sometimes we have a tendency of keeping things to ourselves. You need to express to know how you're going to express yourself in a way that best defines the person you are and what you're going through. Sometimes we are so overwhelmed, we're like, you know what, I will wait. But why should you wait if you have a calling, if you're going through pain? You need to express yourself and be able to do the things that you want to do and achieve. Without doing that, you won't get there. Yeah? So, you need to find people that will hold you accountable, will inspire you, will empower you, will support you, will hear you out. Yeah? When I speak with people, when I support people, my clients, we laugh, we cry, we ask questions, and I remember saying that by the time people finish working with me, they say, or even if it's on a first time call, they will say, Josephine, where have you been all my life? Because they've struggled so much, you struggle so much, and now you find that realization and you find something that is aligned to you, and you're like, whoa, so this was this all along? So this is what you want to do. Don't give up. In order to become a winner, in order to overcome your challenge, to turn your setback into a comeback, you don't have to quit. You're not gonna quit. Yeah? So you have to remain in that zone. Remain consistent. Whether it's raining, whether it's shining, whether it's hell, you have to show up. You have to make those goals that you've to follow those goals and write them off. Delegate, reach out for help. Don't be scared to ask. Even if you asked yesterday and today and now and 5 minutes ago, ask again. What did you say? What did you mean by this? Yeah. And for me, that is what I wanted to come and share with you. And if we have not connected already, let's do so. But in order to turn your setback into a comeback, you need four things to start off with. Your true story, your authentic story. Identify who you want to be seen as, known as, or how you want to identify your life, to transform your life. Number three, you need to know your why. Why do you want to do what you want to do or overcome what you're going through? Number four, set those goals. The tailored achievable goals. Yeah. So that is what I wanted to come and share with you. And if you want me to support you, to inspire you, to help you turn your setback into a comeback, I have two offers at the moment. One is called the Sunshine Hour. It's the Sunshine Hour where you and me can get like on the call and then deep dive into what you're going through. And by the time we finish working together, you're like, Josephine, where have you been all my life? Or you come on the 6 week program, the Setback to Comeback program, where we go through a full journey transformation from your setback to comeback. You feel inspired, you feel empowered, you feel brand new, you feel like this is me. This is the brand new. I am ready to thrive and shine through what I'm going through. I'm not going to cover all the things under the carpet. I'm going to bring them, allow what's happened to me, and see how to iron these things out. So that is what I wanted to come and share with you. I remain truly yours, the setback to comeback queen. You can join, you can connect with me here on Facebook, Josephine Kalagira. Oh, I've got a private group called Thrive and Shine Through Your Setbacks. And that's what I wanted to come and share with you. I hope you have picked a leaf, one or two. And if you've got any questions, please do let me know. That's what I wanted to come and share with you. So thank you so much.